All right, so we're diving into Foul Play Ricky season 5, and let me tell you, you weren't kidding when you said this season is bonkers. Talking pigeons, time travel, it's like classic noir met its weird cousin from the future.
It really is a wild ride. And what's brilliant is how the podcast takes these classic noir elements, the gritty setting, the cynical detective, and infuses them with this almost surreal, absurdist humor.
Yeah. And this season throws us right back into the thick of it. We find Ricky still reeling from last season, talk about emotional baggage, losing his best friend, saving reality as we know it.
Yeah, he's definitely carrying a lot. You can see the grief, the trauma simmering beneath the surface.
And then, bam, episode 1 hits us with a frame job.
Mhm.
Ricky gets blamed for Ken's murder, which, as anyone who's listened knows, just doesn't add up.
It's a clever way the show plays with our expectations. We know Ricky couldn't have done it, but watching him navigate those accusations, the suspicion, it adds a whole other layer of tension.
Totally. And just when you think it can't get any crazier, the Windy Apple police commissioner shows up, points the finger at Ricky, and then what happens? The police chief takes him out. Talk about an entrance.
And the chief's confession, urging Ricky to escape, it suggests something really rotten within the Windy Apple PD. Like even he, in his position, wasn't safe.
Like a classic noir trope, the framed detective on the run, but with that foul play Ricky twist. Though, one thing that really stuck with me amidst all the chaos was that cryptic note Ricky finds warning him about danger within the police department. Chilling, right?
Definitely foreshadowing. That, paired with the chief's desperate plea for Ricky to run, it hints at something bigger, more insidious at play.
And then there are the purple symbols. They just appear at the most random times.
Yeah.
After the chief's death, during Ricky's release. Like glitches in his reality, wouldn't you say?
Definitely unsettling. We don't know what they mean yet, but their presence alone is ominous, a warning that something bigger, potentially dangerous, is unfolding.
You got it. It's like the show is telling us to pay attention. These symbols are important. But before we get too deep into that, I gotta ask, what'd you think about Ricky's side gig? You know, recovering that greatest pop song of all time.
Classic foul play, Ricky. That whole episode was a brilliant bit of comic relief. A good reminder that even with a shadowy conspiracy brewing, the show never takes itself too seriously.
Right. But even with those lighter moments, those purple symbols, they're still there in the background, haunting Ricky. He even tries to drown him out at a post-hardcore show, maybe hoping to lose himself in the music.
Knowing Ricky, there were probably some, shall we say, extracurriculars involved as well.
We can only imagine. But it's clear he's searching for answers, trying to make sense of the visions while untangling the chief's death and the conspiracy.
And just when you think you've got a grip on things, foul play Ricky throws a curveball. Remember the chief's death back in episode 1? Well, as you've probably guessed, things aren't always what they seem.
Because in the world of foul play Ricky, death has a revolving door, and trust me, it's about to get even weirder. So, last we left Ricky at the doorstep of a certain witch doctor in Haunchyville, Wisconsin. And what a first impression.
Episode 12 really delivers, starting with those Spartan warriors guarding this, well, let's just say rustic hut.
Definitely not your average doctor's office. And Cal himself, he's a piece of work, isn't he? Not exactly radiating trustworthiness.
He's got that whole outsider vibe, doesn't he? Like someone who's seen things, knows things that most people wouldn't believe.
And that whole vaping his potions thing, I guess that's how they do it in Haunchyville.
Whatever works. But okay, finally we get down to business, right? Ricky lays out the whole purple symbol thing, and for a second there it feels like a breakthrough. Ancient Inforian or Atlantean script, Cal recognizes it. We're getting somewhere, right?
Yeah, until you remember this is foul play, Ricky. Things are never that easy.
And sure enough, as Cal digs deeper, that symbol Ricky described, the whole dragon in a cowboy hat thing. Turns out it doesn't exactly translate to anything concrete.
Instead, we get a whole thing about a summer solstice festival. And get this, a traditional meal of meat wrapped in fried breading.
Leave it to Ricky to call a corn dog, right?
Okay.
But here's where it gets really interesting, because throughout the season, there have been these little hints about Ken and his, well, obsession with corn dogs.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Those little things you brush past on the first listen, but now they take on a whole new meaning.
And then in a moment of vape-induced clarity, Cal drops that line.
They don't serve corn dogs in hell.
I mean,
Wow.
chills, right?
Total chills. Suddenly Ken's fate is back in play.
Turns out he's not gone, not exactly. He's trapped in this realm between, like a waiting room for souls.
And the kicker, he's tethered there by that watch, the one that went boom back in season 4. It's all connected.
So now the stakes are even higher. A whole new quest to rescue Ken from interdimensional purgatory. And just when we thought we had some answers, Foul Play Ricky throws a whole new set of questions our way.
From the streets of Windy Apple to a Wisconsin town with a vape-loving witch doctor, Season 5's been a wild ride.
And we're still trying to process it all.
Seriously, we've got a, maybe not dead Ken, a conspiracy in the PD and those symbols everywhere. It's like trying to solve a puzzle that keeps changing the picture on you.
That's Foul Play Ricky for you. Just when you think you've got a handle on things.
Yeah.
But, okay, that ending, though. Ken stuck in the realm between because of the watch. Talk about a cliffhanger.
Totally. So many questions. Why is Ken trapped there? Someone holding him hostage in soul limbo. And the symbols, are those messages from Ken, warnings about the conspiracy, or something else entirely?
Don't forget, the chief's still out there, hiding. What's his game in all this? Does he have the missing puzzle pieces about what's going on in the Windy Apple PD?
It's like the writers are throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks, and we're left trying to make sense of it. But gotta hand it to him, the creativity's off the charts. Where else can you find hard-boiled detectives, time travel, wacky humor, and the supernatural all in one place?
It's what makes this show so unique. A love letter to noir, but with a modern, self-aware twist.
Exactly. Poking fun at the genre, but still delivering a mystery that keeps you hooked. So, as we wrap up our deep dive on Season 5, any final thoughts?
This season's a masterclass in suspense, intrigue, with that Foul Play Ricky humor to keep things fresh. They've built a mystery that's both complex and engaging. Keeps you on your toes.
Couldn't have put it better myself. But to everyone listening, this is just the start of your journey through the rest of the season. Pay attention to everything, those little details, the things that keep popping up, the clues hidden in plain sight. You never know what seemingly small thing might unlock the whole mystery.
Because in Foul Play Ricky, the truth is always stranger than fiction, and just as much fun to figure out.
And on that note, we'll leave you to unravel the rest of this wild ride. Happy listening, everyone.